Hi, guys. Hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for continuing to listen. I missed you so much. I hope you had a great week. I hope your weekend went well. I hope your work week went well, or, just a vacation week. I don't know what you're doing, but I really hope it just went well. And I'm so excited that you're here and we get to do this again. We get to chat and yeah, I'm having a pretty good morning. It's been a pretty productive morning for me. I have the day off today because um my Bubba's babysitter, we go to an in-home daycare. She needed the day off to move her daughter to college. So that is amazing. And that means I get to hang out with my baby all day today. Yeah, we had a good morning. We actually got a lot done this morning. I woke up early, did some pumping because I got this breast milk jewelry kit. I know it sounds really weird, but it's super cute. So you send an ounce of your breast milk, and then I don't know what they do to it. They like make it into a powder and then put a resin in it. And then I'm going to have a cute little necklace when it's done. And it'll be like a little keepsake and memory from my time breastfeeding. So I'm super excited for that. So I mailed that out today. Bubba came with, he hopped in the car, and then what did we do? Just ran a couple errands this morning. So that was fun. We went to the car wash. He thought that was kind of scary, I think. I was just like watching his face on the center console camera that I have, and he was just very unsure about what was happening. But yeah, he did it and he was brave. It is officially an hour and 5 minutes into his nap right now. So I probably have another 25 minutes to an hour. I guess we'll see how long he sleeps today. We did have an eventful morning. A couple meltdowns, but we'll discuss the meltdowns later because there was a lot of things this morning, and I need to let him out at least. But yeah, I hope you had a great weekend, and I'm really excited to get into today's episode. So let's cruise on into it. Let's get started with today's current ish event. Some reason everything just kind of happened to be on the theme of cruise ships today. Yeah, did not plan that, but we're just going to run with it because it's my show and it just makes sense today. So, I don't know if you guys have ever been on a cruise, we're planning a cruise, or if you actually had tickets to this next upcoming cruise I'm going to discuss, you might be a little bummed out because it got canceled. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Michael Franti. He is a singer, musician. Pretty much this guy, he preaches like peace and love and just being kind to one another and togetherness and all this. Well, aside from his good vibes and love and all that. There's some dark allegations that have recently come up, and I found it very interesting. So I did a tiny deep dive on it. Nothing too serious because I honestly did not know who Michael Franti was before this week. And the reason I know this is because a coworker of mine wanted to get tickets to go on a cruise that featured him. So I guess it's a Norwegian cruise line, and they've done this like years before. They have a whole themed cruise, like couple days or a weekend. But it's all like a peace love cruise, and it features this musician, Michael Franti. And it got canceled because there was some major drama that stirred up on Instagram. Let me give you a little quick breakdown of what happened here. So, him being a musician, I guess he's been around for quite some time. He's been relevant for quite some time. And there was a young female singer songwriter named Victoria Canal that was a part of his band or helped out with the band. I'm not 100% sure. But she came out on Instagram and she made this ominous post about an unnamed man whom she was in a relationship with many years prior. So this was actually about 7 years ago, this happened when she was 19 years old. And she says this older, unnamed musician basically groomed her. There was unwanted touching. She said that this person isolated her from her friends and family and basically made her feel like she needed him to, in a sense, move forward within her career. So, yeah, that's some deep stuff. Like that's a HR disaster right there. Like I guess if bands had HR. But yeah, that's some deep stuff. I found that very interesting because I'm always about supporting women and, taking stuff like that seriously. But it's really interesting how the public has taken to this. And then Franti also made his own Instagram post response to these allegations, and he admitted that he did have a relationship while on tour 7 years ago, and he apologized to his wife publicly for breaking her trust. Um, but he is denying any allegations of sexual abuse. He was basically saying that their relationship was based on a consensual friendship and attraction. And she was a legal adult at the time. So it's a lot of gray areas. It's a lot of deep stuff to get into at that point. But he did also acknowledge that there was a power imbalance in their relationship due to the age difference. Not quite sure how much older he was at the time. Let's see if I could do some quick math here. Okay, so he was born in 1966, so that makes him 59 years old. So he would have been 52, right? Am I doing the math correctly here? Yes. So he was 52 and she was 19. So yeah, that's a big age difference for sure. I don't think he looks his age. I don't think he looks 59. I think he must moisturize or something because I think he looks really good for his age. I guess everybody really ages differently, but and it's not fair because I feel like men age way more gracefully than women, and that's a little bit of bullshit if you think about it. But okay, let's get back on track here. What do we think? Like he acknowledged it. He acknowledged that he did have a relationship. He did cheat on his wife. Boo, that's bad, naughty. We don't do that. But it happened. Okay, he's admitting fault. He's working through it. It's something that happened 7 years ago. 7 years ago is kind of a long time. Um, and the cruise line just, I think, was not ready for this upcoming PR disaster. They canceled the cruise. Several of the artists withdrew from it. So if you had tickets to this cruise, they are refunding or they're going to give you a credit, I think, for another cruise, is what I read. But yeah, how crazy. Like, how crazy to think about how the power of influence really can have on others. Like, were these two in the like they were in the like can you have a relationship but each person in that relationship has a completely different experience of the relationship. And I wholeheartedly think that is entirely possible. And like I said, it's like the internet is a little torn because I feel like he has so many beloved fans and followers. And yet, there's a lot that are standing with Victoria as well because they believe that she's really brave for coming out and, saying something and standing up for herself, even though it took some time to get the courage to come out with that. Being that it's all on Instagram, though, like, why don't we just have private conversations? Because at this point, it seems a little icky because now, his whole cruise is canceled. He's portrayed in such a negative light, even though he did do a bad thing. Like he did do a bad thing and he admitted to it. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that's a part of just being in the public eye. Like you get your dirty laundry aired and, that kind of sucks. So, yeah. If you had tickets, I'm sorry. I would maybe see if you can go on another cruise. I'm not sure if I would recommend any right now, considering the next story that I'm going to bring up to you. But yeah, really deep, heavy topic. And I hope you learned something. Since we are on the breaking news cruise ship disasters, let's keep going. This one's also kind of dark. I was not planning on the current events section today to be super dark last week. Funny, but that's okay. That's okay. We're just gonna power through because it's in the news and I gotta keep you guys informed. I don't know if you heard, but a Carnival Cruise Line, uh, they've been having a tough time. Wasn't there like that missing panel in that water slide a couple weeks ago? The person got injured on that. Like, thank goodness nobody died. Recently, there was 2 deaths on the same day within like hours of each other. So Carnival Cruise has this private like island that they built. Um that's called Celebration Key. So it's like a 600,000 or no, a 600 million dollar private resort in the Bahamas, and it was developed like it just finished getting developed by Carnival Cruise Line. So what happened is 2 people. There was a 79-year-old man who was just snorkeling on the beach at the resort. So the cruise took him to the resort, and this guy is just snorkeling, enjoying his life. And he just became unresponsive. And then the lifeguards pulled him out, they gave him CPR, and unfortunately, he passed away. So then a couple hours later, like literally the same day, same location, a 74-year-old woman was swimming in the pool. And then all of a sudden, she just became unresponsive. And then the lifeguards performed CPR, but she had also passed away. This is very sad. Like, what is happening? Are these just freak accidents? Or do you think it was a combination of maybe the heat or just a lot of being, I guess, unlucky at the time? So the Royal Bahamas Police, they're doing an investigation into the deaths and they're going to do autopsies to, I guess, determine the exact cause of death at this point. And then Carnival Cruise Line is in full cooperation with the law enforcement and everything and giving them all the information they have. But my goodness. Like, it is just cruise ships are just not really having a great week. They're really just not. And I don't know, are you a cruise goer? Goer? I don't even know how to say that. I mean, I guess I don't know if it's just me or does a cruise always sound fun until you realize you're trapped with a bunch of people at sea, with questionable plumbing and unlimited shrimp. Cruise ships kind of blow my mind a little bit because if you really think about it, you're at sea with a bunch of people and no real governing body because you're in international waters. So anything can really happen at that point. I'm sure they have like security and stuff, but like how does that work? Like who's in charge of what laws? There is no laws. You're basically just pirates at sea. So that wraps it up for our current events today. I think it is time to cruise in to tea time. See you there. All right. We made it to tea time. My Bubba is still sleeping. So that's great for me. That's great for us because I feel like we're really powering through and I think we can maybe make this in one sitting today. I like just like having a full-on conversation with you guys just straight away. Okay. So, tea time. There was a couple cruise ship documentaries recently that were on Netflix. Let's start with the Amy Bradley one. Or what is it? Amy Bradley is missing. So that one was good. I really enjoyed that one. That was a hot topic at work. I really liked that one. If you haven't seen it, what are we doing here? Come on, guys. Watch it. It's really good. I will just do a quick synopsis of what happened there. So back in 1998, I think it was 98, Amy Bradley went on a cruise with her mom and dad and her brother. Long story short, she disappeared. They could not find her on the cruise. They could not find her off of the boat. They could not find her anywhere. There was no evidence that she had fallen overboard. There was no evidence that, anything had happened to her, that she was killed or anything. Well, there was no blood, there was nothing. So, what happened to her? And in this documentary, it's a few episodes long, and they kind of go through all the different angles of what they think happened. And yeah, I kind of want to break down a couple things I wish that they would have hit a little bit more. So, I guess why don't we start with the guy that was in the room next to them? Because I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise before, but I think it's like the same with like a lot of resorts too. But you have like this divider, and the only way to like see who's on the other side of the divider is to just like reach over and, like look over there. And there was a guy that was in the next room to where Amy was staying. And this guy, like, I don't know. I feel like in the documentary, he was just a little bit creepy. I feel like they kind of just like cruised past him, but he was one of the last people to see her alive. I guess she came home, or came home. I guess she came back to her cabin at like a really late hour because she was like out at the discotheque that was on the boat with this guy, Yellow. But this guy, like I feel like he's one of the last people, and he was like one of those guys that just like travels by himself, sees everything, but is really quiet. And I always feel like it's the quiet ones you need to look out for. 100%. It's always the quiet ones you need to look out for. When people get silent, they're not just quiet, like wheels are spinning. There's a lot happening up here. But yeah, I just feel deep inside like that guy knows more than what he's saying. What else? Those women that were interviewed that saw her walking with Yellow after the discotheque and then going into an elevator. And the timestamp on that, like it stinks because they don't have the timestamp of them, because I do believe that they had just walked into their cabin, which those cabin doors, like when you open it, you know how you have like your key card, it only has like an entry, so like a swipe timestamp. So when those women went back to theirs, I think it was somebody inside that had opened the door for them. So they can't be guaranteed what time they claim that they saw Amy and Yellow get on that elevator. But they do claim it was super late in the day, just like how she had gotten back to her cabin initially. So when she was in her cabin, she had gone out on the balcony where, guy next door could have heard her, but she was just out there by herself. She came back to the room and she was alone. And her dad woke up to check too and saw that he could see like her feet and stuff, that she was sleeping. And then he claims that 15 minutes later or something, he wakes up and she's missing. I don't know. Again, the key cards, you can't tell when somebody leaves, but you can only tell when somebody enters. So it's possible that she could have snuck away and left. I also think it's possible that he was dreaming. I don't know if he actually woke up. I'm wondering if what he is recalling could have actually just been a trauma response to, the stress of losing his daughter. I don't know if he really woke up. I think he's just saying he woke up. I really don't think he did. It's just an odd time of night to wake up and think you see what you see. But anyway, so next morning, everyone's like, "Where's Amy?" And they go look for her. I feel like the cruise staff was really underwhelming when it came to helping them. I feel like they were just kind of like, "Oh, did you look? Did you look down the hall?" Which that's really shitty. Like if somebody's really panicked and like, "Hey, my child is missing. Please help me." Well, I guess she was an adult, but she's, regardless, like take it a little bit more seriously. But at that point, people are starting to wonder what's going on. So let's fast forward. Now everybody's like, okay, she's gone. Where is she? Where could she be? They can't find her anywhere. She's considered a missing person. Everyone's like, oh, she jumped, or, or she got off the boat, and, there's no camera footage. There's nothing. There's no trace of her. The last camera footage that there is of Amy is dancing with this guy, Yellow, at the discotheque. So at this point, there's no leads. It's really crappy. The cruise line's like, just go home, guys, and maybe we'll find her. Again, you're at sea. like, it's open water, like, there's no governing body, like, who are you now gonna report this with? The Caribbean police? I don't know, like, the American police? It's just such a weird jurisdiction. Which we find out later it was a big thing because they do try and question this yellow guy, but you can't like take somebody into custody that is a citizen of a different country because this incident happened at sea. I'm really just surprised sometimes that there isn't more cruise ship stuff. Actually, I think there is. I think it's just kept very quiet. I'm pretty sure there's like a whole show called, like, Cruise Ship Mysteries or something like that. I think it was, like, on HBO. I don't remember. Maybe Investigation Discovery. I don't know. Back on track. So let's fast forward real quick. I thought it was pretty weird that, after she goes missing and has become like public news and everything, that one lady, when she was in the Caribbean, when she was going to the bathroom, she said she went into the bathroom and there was a woman in the bathroom and she wouldn't speak and she looked like she had dirty, like messy hair and she was just like trying to wash her hands and stuff. And she tries talking to the woman and the woman clearly says her name is Amy. She says that she's from the East Coast and she's asking all these questions. And at one point, she says that the woman walks like right up to her face, like super close, and just stares at her, like in a really creepy way. But like then it makes you like realize why she did that because after that woman got out of the bathroom, there was a man standing outside the door waiting for the Amy woman that she was speaking to come outside. And he basically just like grabbed her by the arm and then like rushed her away. So maybe she was like trying to tell this woman, like, hey, like I'm in danger. Like, like bridesmaids, just like help me. I can communicate with you just to look. Not funny though. Like, I really hope that girl is okay. Or if that lady's recollection is correct. I hope that girl was okay. But why did that lady go to the police? That is a super sketchy situation. If you see danger, if you see somebody that looks like they need help, why wouldn't you have? And she's like, oh, her husband dragged her away and said there's nothing you can do about it now. Bullshit. There is plenty that she could have done. I don't care what country you're in, especially if these were not like foreign people. You could totally tell they had American accents. Like, you need to speak up. I feel like that's what's wrong. Everybody's just like, "Oh, keep to myself. It doesn't involve me." That is also bullshit. I feel like that's the problem with society. Like lately at least, just speak up. If you see something that doesn't look right or it just doesn't feel right, like stand up for the little guy. All right. I'll get off that soapbox real quick. Yeah. So he sees her, or she sees Amy that time. And then this other guy, like 100% swears, kind of a similar situation. A man walked really close up to her and he saw her on the beach. And, there's all these people coming forward and saying, I've seen her, I've seen her, I've seen her. And then the alleged, like the elusive photos, like the sex tape, or I think it was just photos and stuff got surfaced. And then even the FBI like did the like facial recognition thing. And they're like, I mean, that's freaky close. Like it totally could be her. But yeah, that was also interesting. But I also feel like Netflix does sway you to root for the unlikely situation, the unlikely like thing to what's the word? Like the underdog story, like the underdog situation, I guess. Like she is alive. Like we want to believe that she's alive. And those are great reasons to believe that she's alive, especially with the eyewitness statements. But I don't know. And then the IT guy, the one that created the Find Amy Bradley website, I thought the most interesting part of that whole documentary was that they could figure out what IPs were visiting the website. And a lot of them were situated in the Caribbean. Very interesting. Where she went missing, there's so many hits to the website from one specific area. So then what I also found interesting is that they added like family photos. So like Christmas photos of the dog, photos of them on Thanksgiving, stuff like that. Well, not only can they see like where these IP hits are coming from, they can see how long each page was looked at. So, why were family photos being on the screen for so long? Like, why would some random person just be staring at a family photo from Thanksgiving? Like, I don't know about you, but like when I'm scrolling through, I'm like, oh, like all my friends, like, that's such a cute photo. And then you just keep scrolling because that's what you do when you're on the internet. You just scroll. Granted, I guess this is a website, so you wouldn't really technically be scrolling, but you flip through. I feel like the human brain and the human nature is to just like as quickly as possible get that dopamine rush of like new picture, new picture, new picture, new picture. So why were these photos being stared at for so long? And it makes you wonder if Amy is alive. Does she have access to a computer? Was she trying to check up on her family? Was it Amy or was it Amy's captors if she is still alive? Like there's just so many possibilities. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think she's alive or do you think she went overboard or I don't know. Or do you think there's something else or do you think she just didn't want to be found? Do you think she was just ready to escape and start a new life? I guess we don't really know. I feel like we all hold a lot of internal secrets. And yeah, maybe she just wanted to start a new life. I guess we'll never know. I know that there's like new leads coming out still, even to this day, to this week. And maybe somebody does actually know something. And maybe the documentary it was a great way for the story to get out again. So maybe somebody will come forward and maybe they'll find Amy, which would be like amazing. Like way to go, Netflix, for getting that out there and then crimes are solved. Yeah, that would be really cool. What was the other one? Oh, the Poop Cruise. I don't know if you guys watched The Poop Cruise. What a messed up documentary. I don't want to like go off on this one a lot because it was pretty gross. But yeah, basically all the power went out on this cruise ship. With the power going out meant the toilets went out, so they couldn't flush the toilets. And they, like, can you imagine paying like all that money to go on a cruise? And then they're like, by the way, I'm so sorry. You're going to need to shit in this red bag. What? No. Like, you have to poop in a bag? I would have just like lost my mind. There was those people that were like, "Oh, I was popping Imodium and all this." Think how painful that is. Oh my gosh. Like if you have to go to the bathroom and you like have all that it just sounds like a bad time. Obviously, it was a bad time. What really makes absolutely no sense to me is why they just didn't have somebody pull the ship in. Like easy peasy, just pull the ship in, grab some tiny boats as like a team and just like pull it to shore. But no, they didn't want to tell anybody about it. They were like, "No, it's fine. See the ship that's on its way here? Yes. Yes, everyone's cheering. They're like, "Yeah, we're getting rescued." No. They're just here to give us some granola bars. We're just going to stay on this shitty ship for a little bit longer, guys. I'm really sorry about that. Also, you can't sue us and we're not going to refund you. Like, what the hell? What the hell? I totally forgot about that. I feel like those people still to this day are probably traumatized by cruise ships. I know I would be. And then I don't know, like between all of the stories that have happened like on cruise ships, like I'm just brushing the surface. It makes you wonder like those people that go on cruises alone. I know me and my friend Kitty, we went on a cruise and we had dinner with this like super nice woman and she was great. And she said she does it all the time. She just goes on cruises by herself and she finds friends and she meets people. Yeah. And she was an older woman. Her husband had passed and they used to go together and now she just goes by herself, which good for her. But also how effing scary. Like, I would never go on a cruise by myself. I think I'm going to get murdered at the grocery store. There is no way that I'm going on a cruise by myself. Again, no ruling body in the seas. Like, there's no government. So, if something happens to me, like, there you go. I just can't imagine going by myself. It's like, I feel like even when we went on that cruise, and it was really quick, and we did go to the Bahamas. It felt like we were in our own little town, like in our own little floating city, and we just kinda did what we want. And it's like you go on your excursions. It's like you get there, you get there. You don't, you don't. Here's some shrimp. Would I do it again? Probably not. The one I went on, I we got it on Groupon. Like, we got this Groupon. We're like, "Oh my god, it's such a great deal. We're gonna go on this cruise." And then we got on the cruise. Ooh, really fun quick side story about that. I totally snuck booze on the cruise because they say you can't bring it, but then I Amazoned, like, these things are called, like, boot like, it's like a bag, like a wine bag, like, you slap the wine bag, like a boxed wine bag, but, like, they're empty and you can fill them up. So I totally filled a couple of them up with vodka, and I snuck them into my suitcase, and they came up. They came up on the scanner, like the X-ray scanner. And I was like, "Damn it. They've caught me." So they, like, open the bag and they're like, "Ma'am, what is this?" And I was like, "I haven't the slightest idea what that is," in all seriousness. And they threw it away. But joke's on them because I had another one in there and they didn't get it. So, haha. But yeah, I snuck that on. So we get on the ship. It literally looks like the 70s exploded inside this cruise ship. It was really gross. It smelled very musty, but I got my booze on the ship. So that helped alleviate the drink ticket situation. Would I go on a cruise again? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. Not for me. I got very sick when we got off the cruise. I was fine the whole time getting off of it. It was bizarre because I felt totally fine there on it. I felt totally fine in the Bahamas. And it wasn't until the next morning when we docked that I just, like, the whole day, I just felt like the earth was moving. We docked in, like, Palm Beach, Florida. I remember we, like, went to, like, the town plaza over there, and I had to go to the bathroom. I remember sitting in the bathroom stall, and all of a sudden, like, the earth moved again, and I leaned forward and I bopped my head on the bathroom stall door. It was super embarrassing, but I was like, "What the fuck just happened? I was just sitting here." So, yeah, I guess I didn't have a good reaction to getting off the cruise ship, but yeah, whatever. I survived. Yeah, I don't know. Get on a cruise, don't get on a cruise, sneak alcohol on your cruise. Just look out for crazy people, I guess. Buddy system. Work with the buddy system. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's going to wrap things up for our tea time. So let's get into our final segment. Let's have our mom moment. I seriously can't believe my baby is still sleeping, which that's great for us. Oh my gosh, today, this morning, I'm just not used to this morning. So we wake up and Bubba slept in, which totally great. Had time to pump. Um, and then after I woke him up, he was in such a good mood. He's always in such a good mood because he'll see me and then he'd be like, "Oh my God, it's my mom. Let's go." And he was super pumped. And we watched Power Rangers, and that was super fun. Yeah, then the morning just, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Everything was great. And then it was just like one chaotic thing over another. So we wake up and I get a text from Jameson saying like, "Hey, I didn't let the dog out very long. And our dog, Mishka, she's an elder dog. She's gonna be 13 or 14 years old next month. She's starting to lose it. She's a little bit senile, but she's some days are better than others. She has epilepsy, so we give her a pill twice a day before bed and right in the morning, so she doesn't have seizures. But she's just starting to lose it a little bit. And he's like, I didn't let her outside long enough. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to let the dog out. So, oh no, Bubba's waking up. We're gonna keep going. Okay, maybe we're not. Okay, just kidding. We're gonna take a quick time out. I'll be back in like I don't know, probably a few hours. We're gonna have to wait until the next nap time. Okay, I'm back. I don't know why I'm whispering. I just put the baby back down for his nap, but he is still awake. He is resisting. He is very much resisting, but we're just going to hope that he goes down. He was being so silly before I put him to bed. But yeah, I have a good feeling he's going to put himself to sleep in the next 5 minutes. So we're just going to power through. You might hear a little bit of noise from the monitor in the background, but it is what it is. Okay, so back to the morning. Okay. So the dog, she's old. We get that. So basically I let the dog out and she doesn't want to go out. So I have to like kind of like pull her by her collar outside. We get her outside. I'm walking back in and I stepped in dog poop. Mm-hmm. Yep, I stepped in dog poop. It was super gross, but it was an easy cleanup because I was wearing just like sandals. So not a big deal there, but still like shit. Whatever. Life goes on. So then I get the baby ready and we get ready. We go run our errands. We went to the post office and did all of our things. And he was like surprisingly cooperative and like he really enjoyed hanging out. Like he had a good time in the back seat with his toys and his like little fake cell phone. And we're all just chilling and cruising. And at one point I was just like, we even went through the car wash and I get to thinking like, he's being too chill. Like, what is going to happen? Like, what is going on? Well, my mistake was that maybe the car ride was like a little bit too long because we got home and then just, I don't know what it was. All the chaos started. So I get him upstairs. Now he's grumpy. Now he's out of the car. He is like ready to go. So I give him a biscuit or a cracker. I give him one of those like strawberry banana, like, those little like wafer cracker things. So I give him one of those. He's eating his cracker. Well, Mishka comes upstairs. She takes his cracker, like straight up, just takes it out of his hand and eats it. She runs off with it. So now I'm like chasing the dog. I'm like, bad, like don't eat the baby's food. He's losing his mother effing mind on the floor because the dog just took his biscuit cracker thing. I just like, it was too much. It was too much. It was too much for one person because I'm just trying to like shoo the dog away and then calm the baby. So I pick him up. Everything's fine. Tra la la la. So then I needed to grab the checkbook because I needed to write a check. And I turn around from the kitchen and I grab the check and I think to myself, I didn't even think to myself. I literally said it out loud. I said, "Where's my coffee?" Oh, do you want to know where the coffee was? It was on, guess it, just guess, the coffee table. And as I'm literally turning around from stepping up from my child, he has it in his hand and he just like, we just made eye contact and he went and just dropped it. He mic dropped my mug of coffee. Mind you, this is cold coffee. Everything's fine. It's cold coffee. It was sitting there forever. There was like, I don't know, 2 or 3 sips left in it or gulps, whatever. Well, enough that it stains my carpet. So at this point, I'm like, dude, like, what are you doing? So now he's got like coffee on him. So I pick him up and I like set him down. So when I set him down, he goes to reach and he grabs for the pen that I was just about to write the check with. And the pen is, like ready to write. So I grabbed the pen from him. I'm like, Bubba, no, stop. Like, just stop. Like, honestly, this is all apparently my fault. Like, not apparently, this is my fault. I'm leaving things in reach. But it's all just like chaos. So I'm just like trying to, I don't know, trying to just survive this moment. And what happens next? Oh my gosh. So I put the pen away, I take the pen from him, took the coffee mug away, and then I'm like, shit, I need to clean up my carpet. I have like a beige white carpet. Okay. Now there's a coffee stain on it. And so I had this concoction that I made the other week because my senile dog pooped in the house and I made something. And for some reason in my head, I was thinking it would work the same as a carpet cleaner. But like in reality, I think what I created was like a carpet deodorizer. So I tried to use that, which, okay, it was a mixture of water, Dawn dish soap, and vinegar. I mean, it worked for like where the dog poop, like surface level poop, and then I cleaned it up and actually smelled pretty good. For the coffee stain, not so much. Looking at it right now, there's still a coffee stain. So if you guys have any tips on how to get coffee stain out of carpet, please let me know. I would love to hear your tips and tricks because I am at a loss at this point. So anyway, I'm scrubbing the carpet and I put that like mixture bottle down. So now he wants to put the mixture bottle in his mouth. And I'm like, oh my God. So I grab the bottle from him. No, I can hear him because he can hear me talking. So I grab the bottle from him. I set the bottle down and I'm like, oh my God, now I need more towels because I'm like scrubbing and I just soaked up the coffee and that's just a disaster. The dog is just like walking around in circles. The baby is crying now because I took the carpet cleaner away from him. It was just a moment. It was just like a moment. And like, I just like at one point, I was like, I just looked at him and I was like, dude, oh, there he is. He's crying. See, he's upset. But for real, I was just like, dude, like, what are we doing? What is happening here? Like, we need to take your pants off because they're soaked in coffee. It was just a day. It was a morning, but like, I don't know. I just can't help but laugh about the whole thing because now I have to figure out how to get this coffee stain out of my carpet, which I mean, I guess I could be mad about it, but at the same time, it's like I can just get new carpet and we plan on getting new carpet. So why not just let him destroy it? But it's like right in the living room. So if you guys can think of like any way at all to get this coffee stain out, please let me know because I feel like my mom's going to come over and be like, your carpet stain. And I'm going to be like, I know. But yeah, it's just going to be commented on. I just want to get the coffee stain out. So yeah, if you have any ideas on that, that would be great. Yeah, it's just speaking of poop, we were talking about the poop cruise earlier. I stepped in poop and the baby pooped. And then the coffee stain looks like a poop stain on my living room. Yep. Yep. So that's my mom moment for this week. I kind of think that he finally went to sleep. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. But hey, sometimes you just gotta laugh through the chaos, right? Because it is kind of funny in the end if you think about it. But I hope your chaotic weeks went a lot better and your carpets are left unstained. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The facts are fuzzy. Our stories and opinions are just that, stories and opinions, not meant to be taken as professional advice.